Hey folks, this is Noble Rambler, and welcome to another episode of Let's Play Banished. We are using the Colonial Charter mod version 1.6, the Forge Awakens, and this is our town of Ramblington that, well, I was going to spend today's episode working more on the city, but something else has come up. We had a visit from the TBI, the Territorial Building Inspectors. They went through our town and they took a look at what we were doing, and they said that there's one area that we are breaking code and we need to come out and fix it. Now, really, I got a very interesting comment from Little Mouse, who had spent some time watching the series, watching the episodes, and noticed something. We've been having trouble with different crops, different fields or orchards specifically, that had not been producing. And Little Mouse noticed that when these were harvesting, now that we're using labor pickup, they're only dropping in places where there's grass. They're not dropping anywhere that there's road. And when I first read the comment, I thought, no way, that can't be right. And I was about to just kind of go, that's not correct. But then I stopped and thought about it for a while. Remember a long time ago when we first, none of this existed over here. And we were just working on our first crops over here, a couple of animal pastures and these orchards. And the roads were only in the first little parts right here. I hadn't built roads for the entire length because I didn't want to commit the builders to doing all that labor. And so I, one time, set all these guys to labor pickup. But we only had, 4 or 6 laborers, so it was a total fail. They dropped off all of their goods all down these roads here, and there weren't enough laborers available to pick it all up. And I noticed at the time that they only dropped it off until the road started. Then they didn't drop it off down here. And I thought that was kind of odd, but I never connected the dots. So thinking back on it, I think Little Mouse is right. The roads impede the ability for the farmer to drop it off so that the laborers can go and get it. And so I paused the game and went back to an old game save. And I'm going to pause here because I want to do something before we hit early autumn. I went to an old game save and tore out this whole area over here and built one. The original white mulberries was still there, and they were making 115, 120 a year. So I took this field here, took all the roads out, and planted another batch of them. And then I went over here and I planted a small, like a 12 by 12 or something, 2 of them, one slightly bigger than the other, with different variations of the shape, in that some of them had trees out all the way to the edges, and some of them had an extra space along the side, an even number versus an odd number, and built 2 of those, and then 2 over here, and these I completely surrounded in roads, so they were probably 6 roads deep, completely surrounded them, and just let it run, and all those trees matured, and I watched the results, and the fields that were completely surrounded with roads were making 40 mulberry leaves, and the ones that were surrounded by grass were making 240. So I went over here. This was still making about 120, and the one over here that had grass around it instead of road and other orchards completely surrounding it, it was making 750. So a 5 to 6 time increase in the yields because they had a place to put it. So these over here, so I went back to this game and let it run for a while and watched what was really going on. The coffee, which has been doing pretty decent here, we had 1100 last time, wow, only is dumping off in this stretch right here. And they're only dumping off when the farmer gets to this edge over here. So all that the farmer harvests through this run through here is is ignored, is thrown out. What is picked up over here gets set off to the side, except all of these are trees, so there was hardly anything over here. But this was just loaded all the way to out over here. And this one was dumping off right there and just getting the 100 or so. This one was dumping off a little bit over here and a little bit over here. None of them were using the extra space on the side here. So this still counts as orchard. It doesn't count as open space. So that doesn't benefit anything. And field after field, it was doing the same pattern. So I went to, remember we had trouble with the cows over here, the beef cows, and we could not get it to produce. Went year after year with a history that was completely empty. Nothing was showing. In fact, do we have one that's doing that now? I'm trying to remember. Are all these working? All these are working at the moment. Okay. So in that experiment, that same test map that I did all this over here, I split off the sheep into this field, got 14 in each, and I completely surrounded this one with road. Filled in everything around it, made sure there was no space left over, and this one, or maybe vice versa, I left the other one completely exposed. And I went for a full year of this one producing 600 meat, and this one only producing wool, no meat at all, even though they were being slaughtered in both. So same thing with the pastures as with the orchards. When labor pickup is on, it has to dump to the outside. When they slaughter meat, you've seen it, they always dump to the outside. If there's no outside that isn't just plain grass, then the game will not count it and it will not work. So essentially what I think is happening is the square here in the ground, that guy right there, has the ability to add one thing to it. It can add a rock, or it can add a road, or it can add a hunk of meat, or it could add a crate of coffees. But it cannot have two things. So this space here is triggered, or is already accounted for with a piece of road, so that slot is filled. It cannot also have food. So whenever they put their goods down, they always set it in a section of grass off to the side. You've seen that before. If there's a fire or if there's something going on, they drop their goods and they go and do their thing. They always set it off to the side. They never lay it in the roads. So I think that is what has been happening all this time. These orchards that I've been cutting down because they have not been producing are not producing because we gave them nowhere to go with it. So what I want to do is I want to give my laborers something to do as soon as we hit early autumn. I want to keep them busy so they won't come over here and pick things up. Now this doesn't happen in the fields. The crop fields are immune to this because the crop fields dump off in the field itself. Let's see if we can find one that's already picking up. No, looks like we're running late this year. Here we go. So they dump off on the inside. So there's no problem there. So I did the same experiment with the crop fields up over here. Left some surrounded with road and left some. That was back when we had the long skinny ones. That's how old the save was. And no matter what I did, road or no road, they worked fine. They worked identical. So it's only fields, only spaces that dump to the outside when they harvest. Early autumn. Okay. They're going to start, the game's going to force them to begin the harvest. Let's give our laborers something to do. Let's see. We have too many trees going on over here right now. So although when we cut our orchards down here in a few minutes, we're going to have a lot of trees. But let's give them, tell you what, let's send them off then instead to take out iron and stone. There and there. So let's clear out the iron and stone in this area. And we'll do a chunk over there too, and there. That's going to give them plenty to do. Now, they're all of our laborers and even the farmers, as they finish their job, they're going to take off to go and do that, and they're going to not pick up the crops this year. So that we should, as the snow hits and the leaves go away, see the pattern that I'm telling you about. And Little Mouse came up with this, or at least had noticed it, and brought it to my attention. And I had to do a test run of that. It sounded crazy, and yet it sounded plausible at the same time. So I decided to give that the benefit of the doubt. We'll let this run for a while as they start picking up. In fact, while they're harvesting, let me shout out a hearty welcome to all of you who have come over from Night Ghost's live stream the other night. I popped into to his Twitch stream just to say hi. I hadn't seen him live stream before, and each time I had thought of looking, over there on Twitch, he wasn't live. He wasn't there, so I just happened to catch him the other night and said hi, and he said Noble Rambler, and he got all excited, and he put the link to my channel up, and it was a good time. I couldn't stay for very long, but he is a great guy. I really like him, and several of you that were there watching him popped over and subscribed, and just wanted to say hi and appreciate it, and welcome. So let's see if we are getting a little closer to our harvest here. Starting to see anything showing up. While I'm looking, those of you who want to catch Night Ghost's live stream, he's over at twitch.tv/nightghost49. You'll find him there, and of course he's at YouTube/nightghost49 too. He plays Banished and quite a few other games. He's doing an interesting thing right now, just like I was doing, or like I'm doing. I'm doing the Let's Sample playlist. Well, I'll play a couple of episodes of new games and see if folks are interested. And he's doing first 5. So he's running a game for 5 episodes, and then he'll put up a vote. And if you really like the game, you vote for that game and do another 5. If not, then you'll vote for something else of the choices, and he'll move on to that game. So it's a way of testing games to see what people are interested in. Okay, so we are in autumn now. Maybe I'll tell you what, I'll go ahead and speed things up. Well, I'm already at 5. I could go Night Ghost speed. He goes a crazy 10 speed all the time. That is just wild. But since I'm not really trying to accomplish anything this episode except this task, I'll go ahead and run it this speed until the leaves start to go away, which they're starting to right now. Now I'm going to slow it down. Let's look at this. You can see, here we go. As you can see, the leaves were starting to go into autumn, but now we are into, well, we're still autumn, but our temperature has hit a certain point. So we're dropping down to the freezing mark, which means we're going to start snowing here soon. Laborers are busy. We're not picking up the crops, so we're going to get a chance to see where they're actually dumping these goods. They're not dumping them on the sides. These guys here are going to have just as many crops to put on the ground as these do. So there's potentially 1,000 sitting in here as there is right here. Actually, this is 2,000 now, but the smaller fields, this size. But you can see they're dumping the mulberry leaves along the side here, and they're trying to dump the chestnuts, but there's only so much room. And once a space is taken with mulberry, they can't put chestnuts there too. And they can only go so many spaces away, so they can't pile into here any further. So unfortunately, they harvest back and forth, this way, and then they come back in this way. It's not until they get to here that they're able to dump something, and it's just what they made right there. So all of this is wasted. And all of this is wasted. This one doesn't count because there's no way that we're not growing yet. We're not harvesting yet. But these guys over here had to dump off right there and this little space in front, and that's it. So you can see that this is a big discovery. Now, luckily, it doesn't affect the crops, because most maps will have lots of crop fields, and that would be really tough to have to go back and correct. So that is our challenge. We're going to have to redo and redesign. Now these guys here are working. There is plenty to drop off right here. It's rare to have to take out so many cows or sheep at one time that they would fill up all of this. unless there are no laborers available to come and get it, in which case it might start to build up. And also, when I was testing over there, if there was a road and dirt on the other side, they were able to go across the road and load up the side over here. That's why when I did the test, I ended up having to put 6 or 7 layers of road around these fields in order to adequately test it, because if it's just one road around it, they were able to dump on the other side. But of course over here, the other side is another orchard, so it's still taken. And over on the other side, there's another road, and vice versa. So these have nowhere to go. They can't drop into the fields over here. So this one right here, when it grows up, if we did nothing, it would be dead again. There is no place on any side of it for anything to be dropped off. It is all taken. So we're going to have to tear all this out, and I think the solution is to get 4 fields in here instead of 5. Take it in one space, and then from now on all of the orchards are going to have 3 spaces between them, with a road in the center and then a green space on both sides, and then orchard. So that is our plan, and I'm going to pause here and make sure that we call back our laborers before they are so committed they can't get anything done this episode. So we're going to cancel all of these orders. There we go. I think that's everything. So what they got done, great, that's bonus. What they didn't get done, that can wait for another time. So now let's get the laborers back in here to pick up. And once everything is picked up, in fact, we can put a cut order in on all of these. There we go. I'm going to cut all these down. We're going to have, well, except for this one, we're going to have a huge quantity of wood building up. These guys I'm going to leave alone. They do have, well, you know, let me think about that. Nope, we got to take these out too. I mean, yeah, there is space on one side, but what is harvested out of these trees is just being destroyed. The game is not counting it. It's not until we get to these last 2 rows that they're able to set them onto the side. So these we got to go also. So all of these cut, and how do you cut and not have them start to replant again? I don't know that answer. We'd have to time it just right, or they would immediately start to replant. But if I turn off work, I don't think they'll get cut down. And if I delete the field, there's obviously no farmer to cut it down. How does that mechanism work? How do we cut it without them immediately replanting? I need to destroy these fields. I guess as we get down to the last few trees, we will then have, I will then cancel the field. And, okay, well, we'll let it go for a while. I've got the cut orders in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 orchards. That's all we've got, right? Yeah, so cut. Didn't miss any. Okay. So they'll pick these up, they'll cut those out. I have no idea if we missed any other traders. 1. Nope, he's coming in now. Okay, so we'll let them work on that while we check out the rest of the town and kind of see what's going on. Alright, so what have we got here? I went ahead and took out all of the barrels out of the traders. So our pemmican is now running unobstructed. Trade. Food. I think we might want to grab some food. What we've been depending on from the orchards is simply going to go away for, I don't know what it is, 2, 3, 4 years for the replant. So let's go ahead and pick up something. Potatoes, yes. Oh, one other thing. Excuse me. Well, let me see if I can talk and type at the same time here. While I was doing the test on our map, after I got done with the other test map, I ran us forward a couple of years. Let's see, oranges. We don't have oranges. Let's do that. 4,000 of them. And Well, let me just do one thing at a time, or I'll do both of them poorly. We don't have pumpkins. Let's see if we can get like 10,000 in food to kind of give us a boost here. Blackberries is also something we don't have. Sugar beets, though. Ooh, let's start playing with sugar. Let's do that. Alright, so anything else here that's important? I'm at my 10,000 mark. Do I need to trade in for anything? Don't think so. Okay, we'll go with that. So can we put together 10,000 in something? Right off the bat, we will go to the cuts. Well, yeah, we could do that. I was going to say we're now smoking them, but we have a lot. Especially venison. We have so much venison. So I'll go ahead and do these just because they are worth double what the other food is worth. So that was the whole reason to have made these to begin with. Though what we're going to be making out of these eventually will be in here instead of these. So normally I keep 300 wool coats in here. We're less than 300, so we must be 0 out there in the wild, and it hasn't quite caught up in here yet. So we'll hold off on that. I think we are... No, we're not all food up here. Okay. How are we on herbs? Our herb count is probably lowish. I don't think I could spend 2,000 and have it replaced. Even though this isn't all herbs, this is also herbal. I'll tell you, let's find out what that is. Right now, let's see, we're using this one now. I've got to train myself to do that. If there's 1,600 over here for medicines, medicinal things, how much of that actually is herbs? So, whoa. It all is. We have no healing oils. Because the healing oils are all going into the traders first. Interesting. They're in here somewhere. I may have already passed them. Here they are. So they're all in the trader already. Okay. Well, as far as I know, the citizens don't actually use them. They use the herbs, and they use the doctor. My sense is that the healing oils and the healing poultices are just a trade item. They're not actually used by the colonists. So let's do exactly that. Let's trade those guys out. So what else? Cloth down coats. What kind of quantities do we have of those? That is, I believe, what the citizens are using. We're also making wool coats. Pea coats we're not. We're making full livery, right? Is that what the silk and right there? All right, so we've got 200 of that. And what did I say on the cloth down? Cloth, 144. So let's put in 100 of these. And let's put in 100 of... Oh, I don't have those in the... so the full livery is not in the traders yet. Okay. We've not too long ago just started using those. Alright then. We've got another 6,000 to come up with. So let's go up to the top and start reasoning our way through. Glass we're not going to touch. Building supplies we're starting to use now that we're building our city and we're putting all of the higher end buildings in. So I'm hesitant to do much with those. Building supplies 51. Yeah, that's... And furniture, we were having the hardest time getting furniture, though now that wood is so available, we're actually able to actually able to build up a supply of it. So let's put in 50 of these. And homewares, same thing, except we're doing a little better than the other one. We'll use some, but not much. Let's put in, we're counting by fives. Let's put in 20. Okay, so what is next? Wool coats, we could do those. But then the citizens aren't using them, so they're just for trade right now. So let's finish it with them. We can do that. What are we counting by? 300s. Okay. So, what is that? 9, no, 6, 7. 7, right? Yeah, an additional 1. So I'll give you a coffee bean. You got it. Alright. That gave us a bunch of stuff and sugar beets. So trade and dismiss. and X that out. So sugar beets. We'll go over there to our, what I'll call our sugaree. Not sure what the building is, but from now on it'll be the sugaree. What have you got? Seeds. I don't think there's anything that we really need. Tobacco, we could get into that one day, but I think I've got enough on my plate at the moment. Although we could just get it bought. I guess we could do that. Will I remember we've got it, though? That's the question. Not seeing anything else that's screaming at me to get it. What's it take to put together 3,000? Let's go to the bottom of the list this time. There we go. Alright. Fancy furniture. That we should have plenty of. Fancy 264. Okay, so let's do it all in fancy. What are we looking for? Another 1,200. Boom. Good. 100 of them. Trade and dismiss, and that gets us... Where did he go? That gets us tobacco for later. Trade and dismiss. All right. So now that I can concentrate, we'll turn time back on. Head down to our... We did build a sugaree, right? We talked about it. We're making maple syrup out of it. Where is that? There? Sugar house. Okay. We were using up our maple syrup, but let's switch over to sugar beet. Is that what I got? That is up here in the traders, not in the system yet. So over here, and this is in alphabetical order. So sugar beet. Yep. Sugar beet. No, turn you off. Okay, so sugar beet. Alright, so let's at least work until this runs out. We've got the sugar beet seeds now, I believe. And we switched over 2 fields. 2 fields to be sugar beets. So I don't know if this is the year we were going to plant them. No, this is the year we're supposed to see that happen. So that'll begin soon. Alright, are we taking trees down yet? We are not, but I think that's going to happen soon. What I'm curious about is it faster to just put in a cut order? Or is it faster to delete the orchards and then put a cut order in all these trees using this tool? I suspect that might be better. I think I'm going to do that. I may regret it, but I think I'm going to give that a try. Let's do that for these guys. We'll leave that. We'll see what happened first. So for starters, let's turn off some farmers. And then let's put in a cut order for everything from here. Harvest trees. Should that be red? No. Yeah, that should be red. Why did that not work? Let me think here. This is no longer counting as anything. So I should be... Are these just not considered trees? Yeah, am I going to regret that? I might. Well, we could do it this way then. Let's take out all the roads in between here. We'll start with that. And what I'm thinking of, I was going to take out one side of this road. That would free up the side of this field, but I don't think I want to do that. So I'm going to leave those roads. It doesn't affect anything here. And we'll just be sure to leave a space right there. Now we'll figure that out in a moment. We got to get these roads out of here. And when that happens, we can potentially lay out the next orchards over the top of this, and then as they build the orchards, they'll take these trees down. Meanwhile, we'll watch these get taken down really quick, because that's what should have happened, and I blew it. That is so strange. They won't count these as trees. Why can't I take these trees out? Harvest trees. If I harvest everything... Oh, that works. Okay, let's do that. Let's harvest everything. That's what I expected to see when I said harvest trees. Okay. Maybe these somehow count as food instead of trees. And so we're actually harvesting wild foods right now instead. I'm not sure. The building is caught on fire. Ooh. Oh. Our new city where there are no wells yet. Oh, this could be bad. What are you? You are a country house. Well, let's prioritize this. And, wow. Water is over here. Well, let her run, but this is going to hurt. Oh, we've got a market here. I was going to say I could put a shutdown order here and have them start dumping the market down, but that'll take everyone away from the ability to put the fire out. I take it, yeah, we've got a family living in our town lodging now. We do have a lot of spaces in between. So, although if the row house catches, then this is gone. But we do have 3 to 4 spaces in here. And here. And here we've got, what? Yeah, it's possible it won't jump. But yeah, people are not getting here very quickly with the water. This could get exciting. We've been very fortunate with our disasters so far in Ramblington. We've had 3 fires that have each taken out 1 house. So normally you get the catastrophic fire that just spreads and spreads and it just never seems to end. It always finds a market. It always wipes out a big bunch of stuff. Like Night Ghost's first episode at Clenchville. I remember that one. Took out that fort. Where is it? It was the Themes. Took out his castle that he started with all of the storage inside and all the houses nearby. That was quite the devastating way of starting a map. But he's recovered well. We are just about done. 1 section of roof left. And we haven't spread yet. The spacings in between the buildings, that is really big when you don't have your wells in. I want to watch that, but I want to see what's happening over there on the other side too. Food's at 46,000. That's good. Because we're not going to be seeing... Well, I guess we haven't really been seeing much food from the orchards anyway. So I suppose it isn't going to be as devastating as it could be. Well, I'm going to speed this up a notch. I'm not going to go to 5 speed, but 2 speed should hopefully let us know if this... Oh, we did spread. Is it because I sped up? If I were to put a well in right now, I have a feeling they would ignore it. Wow. Alright, well, we'll let that burn. They can get out their marshmallow sticks. How's our magazine doing? 15% and running fine. Good, good, good. Full of food, too. Look at that. So, these guys have turned back on again. That's mighty odd. And, okay, they're not cutting it down because they're all putting out a fire. I see. Okay. If I pause it, this thing moves around a lot faster. That's what I've noticed. Running, it lags as it moves. So if I hit pause, I can move around the map and it's not a problem. These guys are awfully close. So this is probably going to spread. We might see this just work its way all the way through. I do wonder if running it faster than speed 1 causes any calculation errors. I've heard that a house burning at speed 10 will spread no matter what. The game glitches a little. It can't keep up with the calculations of water adding to the grand total to put out a fire. So the faster you run it, the greater the chance it's going to spread. Don't know if that's true, but that's what I've heard or read in comments of other videos. So we'll go ahead and let this happen. Joiner got done. Good. Set that one for hardwood and put a laborer in there. Laborers are at 30 right now. Wow. That is tremendous. Over here, last time we put in our stone walls, getting ready to beautify our new town over here. The hedges are going in. And a little hedge opening there. Nice. We have not spread. One roof left. Well, this is the stage this one was when it jumped the ridge there. We'll see. Oh, oh, oh. There it is. Whew. And we still have a roof section. Alright. Rebuild. Rebuild. Add to the list. Wells! Exclamation point. Alright, that's on tomorrow's list. So, back to our work over here. There we are. Now let's get these things taken out. Go back to 5 speed. Let these guys take these down. I really was hoping to get this built, or rebuilt, this episode. This episode. But I'm at 35 minutes now. We'll go to our typical 30 minutes plus a 15-minute bonus and see where we're at. And at that point I may just have to build this off camera. We'll see. Don't want to take up 2 full episodes on this topic, but it was important enough. I think we're going to see a 5 to 6-fold increase in here. Oh, something else. This is what I was about to say when I was trying to do the trader over there. When I ran this thing forward a year or two to watch what was really happening in here and study it, I noticed, remember these fields here before we took the road out and combined them? They were making 950 and about 1100. So I figured I needed 2100 out of these to make it worth doubling these up. The question is whether the second farmer truly doubles it or if he just adds in another, say, 75%. So what is the result? And what I found, it didn't this time, but in that one I got 2100 out of them, just like I was looking for. Now that's going to fluctuate each time. There's a 2000, so that's what I'm talking about. So our basically 1000 and 1000 has become 2000 with 2 farmers running both fields. It depends on weather, it depends on, all kinds of things, and this one was even worse, but the potatoes have never done well. We had one really good year with potatoes, and that was it. And like I said, it has nothing to do with being surrounded by roads. In this case, it doesn't affect it. So it's just a potato thing. I don't know. But this one did do it. So the question is, do we want to do this, or do we want to remain like this? The advantage to these, if one farmer has a little problem one year and needs to go find firewood for his house and doesn't get back to work, he ruins one field. Nomads. But he doesn't ruin a double field with that. So this guy at 1600, he got his 1000 in, and that'd be like 1000 here and 600 there. So that'd be the same as one farmer having a bad year. So I guess in the end, it's the same thing. My thought for doing this was that with 2 farmers responsible for it, if one had a problem, at least the other one would be back here doing his rounds and getting something done. So we'd be doubling the chance of a success. That was what I was reasoning. But we'll let these guys continue to be cut down. They're getting to it right now. We have nomads. We have never had nomads before. This is going to be our first run of nomads. Here they are. Aha. What did they give us this time? Nomads. There you are. 39. Wow. 39. We don't have a lot of extra housing right now. We've got, wow, 80 families needing housing. Woohoo! Talk about a growth spurt. I guess we could buy food for a while. I turned that off, didn't I? I told you I was going to do that. We could buy food for a while like we did last time and maintain at least the 30,000 mark for these guys. Let's accept them this time, and we'll just see how this goes. And next time, probably not. Maybe every other wave, so that we're not taxed that badly and having to grow the town beyond the speed that I'm used to. Because, you know, I'm used to taking my time and just kind of enjoying this. Nomads add stress. Boy, they add stress. But this time, let's say yes. You guys are invited. Put on your good, clean clothes. Thank you. And let's find something for them to do. Let's minimize that. How's food? Well, food's not going to give us anything reliable right now because we just bought a whole bunch. So this is artificial, but in general, we've been doing pretty good. Now add, what would I say, 39 people, whoever that was, that's going to flatten. And take away the orchards, as little as they were producing, that's just going to solidify the flatten. So we do need to add a bit more food in, which we will be doing when we turn these orchards back on properly. Okay. So I don't think we're going to get this in today. So tell you what, let's take the next few minutes, slow ourselves down, and let's think about nomads. We've got a butt ton of laborers now. And where are they going to live and what are they going to do? That's going to give us the ability to finally double up on herdsmen and max out the fisheries and what have you. All of the different, building, the businesses, and industries, like the sugary, go to a second laborer and what have you. So off camera, I'll go through and add one to all of the different industries, max out the stone cutters and add more miners and that sort of thing. But here on camera, running it slow, let's go ahead and put some housing in. And they can be building those next time. And next time, I'll save this for next time. We'll get into planning out our new orchards and anything else that is affected by this new discovery. So more houses. I know we do need a few more over here. We still have, I'm pretty sure, people that are traveling a bit far for their jobs. Actually, these aren't too bad here. These guys a bit further. How are we out over here? These are the questionable ones. They're all heading into there. Yeah, we'll get some more houses out over here. Let's see. I just got to thinking, we do want to eliminate this road to expose at least one side of these pastures, but I can do that later as well. So houses, let's see, what can we pop in here? What looks good in this area? We've been doing salt boxes and kind of the country cottages right there. The town abodes, I know I've got a couple of these guys waiting, so I'm going to put it on pause. We'll catch these guys at the beginning of next episode. Let's work on houses. We've got some stone. The town abodes hold only 4 people. The country houses hold a regular family. So let's put a few of those in. We can do that. Looks like we've got to go there to catch a road on that side. Well, I can do that because I'm now going to leave a space around everything. Just like you've got going on right here, I'm going to leave a space here and then a road. So that should give me room for that house. Where was I? Now, none of these are going to look good over here. These are all just too tall. Wish there were more choices. Actually, there are more choices. We have not gone through and done any upgrading. Although that takes them up and makes them taller too. Yeah, the 3-story look doesn't work out here in a farming environment. That just looks odd to me. So we'll stick with these guys as well as as we can do some stone houses, though not many. That's a lot of stone. But let's put in... Do we want more animals here? It's possible that we do. Let's do something like that. And one more stone. And now we got room for 2 houses in the middle there. Let's go back with the country house. How do we want to aim him? I think a road would fit in real nice right between there. So we'll do that. And let's do another salt box over here. Aim down. Right there. Okay. So there. In fact, there was a little space there. Let's put a tiny house in there. Right there. Just for fun. Alright, so let's lay these out to the side so we'll catch them next time. Remember that we did this. And we'll see that we're making some progress on our nomads. Giving them a place to live. They're now part of our citizens. Just like those of you that have popped in from Night Ghost's live stream. You are our nomads. So definitely want to give you a place to live. Let's see, where else can we pop a few houses in? This area was needing to expand. This area is servicing all of these, but it was originally intended to service all of this. So when I laid out enough fields over here for these houses, I forgot that I was taking away the jobs from over here. So we do need to expand these guys over here. So let's do some more. In fact, over here we can have some of the larger ones. Let's do a large residence, kind of like that. And another one off over here, like that. And then we'll do some country houses that we could go through and expand. Turn those that way. Let's turn this guy this way, and a couple of spaces down from that one. And we get a couple of these over here. Some of these will randomly upgrade and make them look a little different later. Okay, so there's another. Do that. 1, 2. Don't normally see me building this many houses all at once. But we have an unusual circumstance here. Alright, with that, next time we're going to take care of creating the new orchards, redesigning them. I think we're going to go to 11 wide, and we're going to go 1 row narrower. So I think that should still give us the same quantities. Then maybe we'll put one more in right here to make up for that 5th one that we've lost. We'll take these guys in one and kick it in toward these houses 1 notch. I think we can make that work over there. So that'll be fine. We've got 2 traders to deal with. So we'll catch this next time. Zoom in here. We'll call this one done. I think I'm going to jump right in and record the next one. So any comments that come after this episode will be 2 episodes from now before I can address them. But I'm kind of on a roll here, so I'm just going to keep right on going. So I thank you guys for watching. This has been Noble Rambler. And if you'd hit the like and subscribe down there if you haven't already, I'd really appreciate it. And I will talk to you next time. Bye, folks.